In this lesson, we are going to see the health risks connected to food and drink. We will see the typical upsets travelers incur in when abroad, and we will see together how this can be avoided with simple precautions. Food and drinks represent a great attraction for tourists traveling abroad. Unfortunately, food and drinks may be also a source of hazards for the health of travelers. This is particularly true in countries characterized by low standards of hygiene. In fact, food and water can be easily contaminated with dangerous microorganisms or toxic chemicals that may cause illness if ingested. Microorganisms are very small living things, not visible by naked eye. They comprehend bacteria, viruses, yeast, molds, and parasites. These germs can be found virtually everywhere: soil, water, animals, and also people. Our hands are one of the most common means of moving germs from one place to another. Toxins include natural toxins, metals, and environmental pollutants, chemical, pesticide, and food additives. Some natural toxins are directly produced by microorganisms, for example by molds growing on the food. Seafood poisoning from marine toxins such as ciguatera is widespread in tropical and subtropical waters, being particularly common in the Pacific, Indian Ocean, and Caribbean seas. This poisoning is associated with carnivore reef fish, including barracuda, grouper, moray eel, amberjack, sea bass, and sturgeon. In these regions of the world, it is better to avoid or limit consumption of reef fish. While microorganisms called spoilage microorganisms do change the appearance of food, making it look disgusting, smell and taste bad, many others do not. So smell, taste and general appearance are not good indicators of whether the food will make you sick. Symptoms of food and waterborne diseases usually cause the so-called traveler's diarrhea. Traveler's diarrhea is the most common disease travelers incur in. It is not a single disease, but a group of different illnesses caused by different microorganisms with the same clinical signs. Common symptoms are stomach pain, vomiting, diarrhea, possibly with fever. Symptoms may occur very quickly after eating or may take days or weeks to appear. Most diarrheal attacks are self-limited and clear up in few days without serious risk for life. If intestinal parasites are involved, symptoms tend to be more delayed in time and can become chronic. Clinical effects might become visible sometime after return, and this may delay diagnosis or lead to misdiagnosis. Infants, elderly, and pregnant women have higher risk of developing more severe symptoms. Traveler's diarrhea most commonly affects individuals traveling from an area with higher developed standard of hygiene and sanitation to less developed ones and may depend on the length of the journey. If you get sick, you should drink plenty of fluids that will maintain hydration during diarrhea. Water, tea, soups are fine. Coffee, alcohol, and overly sweetened drinks that tend to remove water from the body are to be avoided. Oral rehydration formulas can be easily prepared at home. A simple recipe consists in adding 5 teaspoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt to a liter of water. Usually, no medical therapy is needed, as long as hydration can be maintained. Anyway, if symptoms get severe, antimicrobial therapy is advisable. Before starting any drug, a medical evaluation is recommended. It is also recommended to get advice by your family doctor before departure regarding suitable drugs you can bring with you to tackle with traveler's diarrhea. The risk of being affected by foodborne and waterborne diseases is mainly linked to the safety of food and water, which in turn depend on the standard of hygiene applied locally. The World Health Organization recommends 5 key elements as precaution to bear in mind in order to reduce the risk. First of all, use safe water and raw materials. Raw materials, including water and ice, may be contaminated with dangerous microorganisms and chemicals. Care in selection is therefore the first step. Always prefer fresh and wholesome foods, and when possible, choose foods processed by safety, such as pasteurized milk. Avoid fruits and vegetables with damaged skin and high-risk products like ice cream, ice cubes, and raw milk. Second, keep clean. Always wash your hands before handling food or eating, and keep them clean during the food preparation. To properly wash your hands, use soap and rub them together for at least 20 seconds, paying attention to fingertips, fingernails, thumbs, wrist, and in between fingers. Warm water is better, but in areas where it's not available, cold or lukewarm water is acceptable. All surfaces and equipment used for food preparation have to be washed as well. Protect food preparation areas from animals and insects, keep food covered or in closed container, and remove rubbish regularly. Third, cook thoroughly. Proper cooking can kill almost all dangerous microorganisms. That means bringing food to a temperature of at least 70 degrees. Soups and stews have to be brought to boiling point for at least 1 minute. Cook meat and poultry until they make clear juices rather than pink. If food is already cooked, reheat it before heating. Beware of microwave ovens, since they can cook unevenly and leave cold spots where dangerous bacteria can survive. Avoid all raw foods except for fruit and vegetables that can be peeled or shelled. Avoid eating bushmeat consisting in local wild game such as bats, monkey, or rodents. Bushmeat can be a source of animal origin diseases such as Ebola or SARS. Fourth, separate raw and cooked. In order to prevent transfer of germs from raw to cooked food, namely cross-contamination, remember to keep them separated and stored in different containers. Raw and cooked must be kept separated during all phases of food preparation. Also use different equipment for handling raw food such as knives and cutting boards. Fifth, keep food at safe temperature. Microorganisms can multiply very quickly if food is stored at room temperature. Keeping temperature below 5 degrees can limit their growth. Put all perishable food in the refrigerator. If possible, remember to label foodstuff to indicate how long it has been stored. Do not leave stuff in the fridge more than 3 days. Remember also not to buy products from street vendors if they are not kept hot or refrigerated. Let's close with some tips for drinking. If available, bottled water is generally the safer choice, but always check the seal to ensure it has not been tampered with. In contexts with low standard of hygiene, avoid the use of ice, since it is usually made with unsafe water. Untreated water from rivers and canals may contain parasites and pathogens and is therefore not safe. Rainwater collected in clean tank is safe as long as the tanks are protected from contamination from birds and other animals. When safe water is not available, it is possible to make it safe by boiling, chlorination and filtration. Chemical disinfection is effective for killing bacteria, viruses and some protozoa, but turbid water should be filtered before chemical disinfection is attempted. Pay attention to safety of water also for other purposes than drinking, for example, washing fruit, vegetable, cooking, making ice, washing hands and brushing teeth. Drink only pasteurized milk from a sealed bottle. Avoid milk in open containers that may have been at room temperature. These precautions also include the cream you put in your coffee or tea. Pregnant women and those with a weakened immune system should stay away from unpasteurized milk and other dairy products such as cheese and yogurts.